I truly believe that the F-15, the Su-27, and the JAS-39 Gripen are going to be added this December in the next update for War Thunder. I do think that I have some pretty good and valid reasons as to why I think this, which we're going to get into first because I don't want to waste too much of your time. If you want to stick around for my speculation and what I actually make of this information, then that will be later in the video. And before we get started, holiday season is coming up. If you want a cool gift to give to your friend, maybe across the internet that you play War Thunder with, go visit Air Models and use my link in the description down below. Pick out somebody's favorite plane. They're pretty cool. I have the Su-35 myself. So check them out, link in the description down below. You get something pretty cool out of it, and it directly supports me, so I'd really appreciate that. And lastly, it would be really cool to end the year with 25,000 subscribers. I have about 2,000 more to go, so that's quite a bold task, but it would truly make my day if you guys went ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Now let's get into the gossip and the speculation. Firstly, I've covered a lot of the stuff I'm going to talk about in my AIM-120 AMRAAM video that I've uploaded a couple months ago. I will be referencing that a little bit. If you haven't watched that, I do recommend you watch that first. And I do want to say that there have been a lot of leaks regarding what's coming in the next patch. A lot of them are fake, most of them are fake. I wouldn't really believe most of the leaks that have been out there so far. There's really no reliable ones, but there is one that's been really reliable in the past, and as of today, it just started becoming real. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this leak list on screen had been going around a couple days prior to today, and just today, Gaijin devlogged the new premium tanks coming to the game, as well as confirming that rank 8 ground is coming to the game. Here in this league list, we have some rank 8 ground vehicles, as well as the M1A1HC USMC Premium and the Challenger 2 Premium. The league list contains those exact tanks, even so far as saying M1A1HC USMC, and that is exactly what Gaijin has devlogged with their Marine Corps M1A1 Premium tank. So that's pretty cool and exciting, but it does not stop there. This particular user that made this leak list has made some very accurate leak lists in the past. In fact, in the last War Thunder update, this particular user actually called all of these vehicles on screen as well to come in that October-November patch. So two things stand out here. This user's leaks are very specific, and they are also very true, historically speaking. Now do keep in mind that he is only leaking the content that is known to be worked on by the devs according to him. So just because he's leaked this content doesn't mean that it's going to necessarily come the very next update, but it is something that he believes or has evidence of, or whatever it may be, that the developers of War Thunder are actually actively working on. But that being said, there are a few other reasons why it just makes sense for the F-15, the Su-27, and the Gripen to come this very update. Starting with the least obvious and more speculative side of things, I hadn't actually thought about this until some of my subscribers had actually pointed this out to me, and it really does make sense. The MiG-29 nerfs, the flight model nerfs, why? Why did they even happen? The MiG-29 912 wasn't particularly overpowered by any means, it's just the R-27ER was super strong, but as far as flight performance goes, the F-16 was already better in a 1v1 and in many other ways, especially so after the recent flight model changes to the F-16 that allow it to pull a lot harder. And now the nerfs to the MiG-29G and the MiG-29 SMT and even the MiG-29 912 and 913 models. And it just doesn't make sense. Why would they do this? Well, a lot of people have pointed out, and I actually kind of agree with them, that historically they have done this before. Whenever they get ready to add something new, they nerf something existing to kind of make room for the new thing, and that way they don't have to add it power creep to oblivion by making it 10 times better than what is already considered to be pretty much the best there is. So what do? They nerf the best there is, and that way they can kind of make the new thing like the old best there is, if that makes any sense. I know that was quite a jumble, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. In this case, the MiG-29 is the vehicle that was already performing extremely well. Adding the Su-27 on top of that would be, well, that would be really interesting, because the Su-27 should be better than the MiG-29. That's problematic, obviously, if the MiG-29 is already performing very well, so they go ahead and they nerf the MiG-29 to make room for the Su-27, and that way they don't actually have to make the Su-27 giga busted. Aside from that, the two biggest patches of the year consistently, at least in the past, have been the summertime patch and the December wintertime patches. when do we get the coolest and most abundance of content? Well, it's going to be those two patches. And so the F-15, while it could just be getting worked on along with the Su-27, that's really unlikely for them to be added in the patch after this one, considering, historically speaking, this December patch is much more important, much more hyped, and a lot bigger than something like the spring patch in March. And these vehicles being as hyped and expected and hoped for as they are, you would definitely think that they get added in one of these big patches, and it would be a real shame if we had to wait all the way until summertime to actually get them. I did mention the F-15, the Su-27, and actually the Mirage 4000 is to be on this leak list as well, but I did not mention the Gripen as one of these vehicles that may, quote, just be getting worked on. Well, why is that? If you watched my MRAM video, you already know why. The Gripen is confirmed to be coming this year, unless we were just straight up lied to. There are a lot of people that go, nuh-uh, the Gripen was never confirmed. Well, it actually was. A lot of people just only see the screenshot from the technical moderator or the forum moderator, I don't know who this person is, of them saying the Gripen is coming soon, and by soon he means this year. Sure, he's not actually a Gaijin developer, maybe he doesn't know. Yes, I understand that argument. But I knew who is a direct employee for Gaijin, and in fact is the community manager for Gaijin, and that's Smin 1080p. And one day Smin decided to hop into a General Lee 2000 stream. If you guys know who General Lee is, give him a sub, he's a great guy. And something came up about the Gripen, and Smin had this to say in reference to that technical moderator's comment. And so he explains why the Gripen didn't come that very next patch at the time, and is also simultaneously confirming that this year was in fact correct. Well, this year is about to end. This is the last patch of 2023, which means the Gripen pretty much has to be added at this patch, unless again, they were just straight up lying, which I guess is a possibility, or maybe the devs don't actually end up finishing the Gripen and they need extra time. Sure, these things could happen. Again, this is just speculation, but going off of this information, I think it's reasonable to believe that the Gripen is coming this patch. What else do we know about the Gripen? Well, in the MRAM video I explained that the Gripen can only realistically carry 2 possible missiles for War Thunder. The other 2 are way too advanced, and we are not going to be seeing these missiles anytime soon. The 2 that we could have are AIM-9Ls and AMRAAMs. Yes, AIM-120 active radar homing missiles. And I really don't see one of the most hyped jets of the year, actually probably the most hyped jet of this year, the Gripen, to be confirmed, that it only drops with AIM-9Ls in 2023 in a meta of R-73, AIM-9M, R-27 ER and ETs. There's just no way. This plane is not coming with just 6 AIM-9Ls. It's going to have AMRAAMs, otherwise it's going to be dead on arrival, it's not going to be competitive, and people are going to throw a fit. And so I fully believe that the Gripen we're going to be getting is going to be carrying AMRAAMs and AIM-9Ls, and that's going to mean we're going to need some competition. It can't be the only plane with active radar homing missiles that are actually competitive. Yes, the Phoenix is in the game, but I am not going to consider that missile competitive. And so it just honestly makes sense. What plane better to go with AMRAAMs than the F-15? Sure, they could add them to the F-16, that's a possibility. Yes, I don't know how I feel about that one. I think it makes a lot more sense to for Gaijin to just add it onto the F-15. That way there's a big incentive to actually grind for the F-15, making it the only plane in the US tech tree with AMRAAMs. And of course, some other nations might get access to them too. We could be seeing the J-11 with active radar homing missiles such as the PL-12, and really who knows what else at this point. But that being said, that's why I believe the F-15, the Su-27, and the Gripen are coming this patch. So are AMRAAMs, and we'll just have to see what happens. I hope you guys enjoyed, I hope you're excited, and I'll see you later.